A man was just taking a leak in the desert when he accidentally stumbled upon a huge chunk of gold. Instinctively, he glanced over at his companion not far away, and after a moment's thought, reluctantly called him over. His companion rushed over, also shocked, and quickly pulled out a lighter to start examining the gold.
If it burns black, it ain't gold.
The two immediately grabbed shovels and started digging, but after several hours, they still hadn't reached the bottom, indicating the gold was even larger than they had imagined. After some effort, they tried to pry the gold out by brute force, but no matter how much strength they exerted, the gold wouldn't budge an inch. So they decided to use their vehicle to pull it out. But unexpectedly, the rope snapped, and the gold remained firmly in place. However, dangers lurked everywhere in the vast wilderness. With darkness approaching, the two men started a bonfire next to the gold to avoid animal attacks. Despite the perilous situation, they were still thrilled thinking about their future lives. But the question was, how could they haul this behemoth out of there? The companion suggested going into town to rent an excavator, but the round trip would take 4 days, and someone would need to stay behind to guard the gold. Facing the desert's extreme weather and the constant threat of wild animals, the companion felt he had extensive desert survival experience and was well suited to stay and watch over the gold. However, faced with such an enormous mountain of gold, the man had absolutely no trust in his companion. After some consideration, he said firmly,
"I think I'll stay with the gold."
Seeing his resolute attitude, the companion had no choice but to readily agree. The next day, they divided up the supplies as planned, but the companion claimed the vehicle needed to cool down and took more than half of the water supply, which the man had to allow. Before leaving, the man's companion gave him a phone so they could contact each other in case of an emergency.
By the time I get back, we'll be rich as all hell.
After seeing his companion off, the man first buried the gold with sand and then used a canvas to set up a makeshift tent for himself. But in this desert filled with hidden dangers, either the harsh weather or the ubiquitous scorpions could claim the man's life at any moment. At night, the man started a fire, and the howls of wild animals echoed in the distance. He gripped his dagger tightly, not daring to let his guard down. In this way, he struggled through the first night. Waking up and seeing the gold in the distance, the man still felt it was all worth it. To make things a bit more comfortable, he began collecting supplies from around the area and unexpectedly discovered the wreckage of an airplane. The man approached the plane and, after careful observation, realized it would make a perfect campsite. He rested inside for a while, but still felt uneasy since it was so far from the gold. He could only dismantle part of the plane's fuselage and bring it back to build himself a shelter because guarding the gold was more important than anything. The simple tent was set up, and seeing the gold not far away, the man felt much more at ease. However, on the third day, when he returned to the plane, intending to get some sheet metal to upgrade his tent, he made a terrifying discovery. In the distance, a person was walking towards him.